Hey there, and welcome to Point Pleasant Park. If you're not familiar with Halifax, this is definitely a must-see area in the city. And yeah, I'm just here on a late winter's afternoon. Nice day. There's a selection of single gloves. I guess people lose their gloves in the park all the time. And that's just one example. So I guess it's a lost and found. Let's just check out some of the sights and sounds of Point Pleasant Park. One of the other features of the parks is that the streets, and I guess they're not really streets, they're paths, but this is just as wide as a street. They're all labeled, so they all have names, which is kind of cool. So Cambridge Drive is what I'm on now, which definitely sounds like a road, and like I said, it's bigger than some roads. Lots of park benches here. This is a great place for people to come and walk their dogs. You'll see lots of that. The other thing you'll notice about the park, if you come here, is that on this main road, and there's some other areas of the park too as well, dogs will be running around without leashes. So there are areas of the park where that's exactly what you can do, which is great for dog owners. They can let their dogs run wild for a while. Of course, you still got to pick up the doo-doo, but you know, it's definitely great for that. Very historic park too as well. I'm going to be getting to some of the areas of the park that are historic. There's some historic older buildings, fortifications. So it's a really big park too as well. Apparently 39 kilometers worth of trails and roadways like this. So tons of areas to explore. And yeah, just a great place to unwind, really. Lots of squirrels in the park and other wildlife as well, but especially squirrels. I've had some run up my leg here. They're not shy, that's for sure. Besides walking your dog, it's also a great place to go for a bike ride as well. Several years back I did a half marathon, and that was really cool. That came through the park as well. And like I said, this is an off-leash area, but right down some of these other roads you'll see that they're not all off leash, so just depends on where you go. But looks like this one's closed for winter maintenance, so use this one at your own risk. A little bit icy and snowy there, as you can see. 2003, fall of 2003, there was a hurricane called Hurricane Juan. People from Halifax remember it well. It destroyed a lot of the trees in this park, so it's been rebounding over the years, but it's obviously taken time. But I don't know the complete percentage of trees that were destroyed in the park, but it was pretty high, and it turned the park into a lot more of an open area than it was before. And yeah, so it's taken a while for that to get back to normal, but it is slowly recovering. And there was also some issues with some other pests as well in the park that were destroying trees as well. What you're seeing here is what they call a Martello Tower. So these were built by the colonial powers of Britain, and through the 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th century they were used quite a lot. And once modern artillery and that became available, these kind of got outdated pretty quickly, but these are towers that are seen all over the world in different parts of the Commonwealth. Prince of Wales Towers, like I said, was the first of almost 200 towers, including 5 in the Halifax area. This is the one, though, that I don't know about the other ones, how well they are as far as how they're standing, but this one is definitely still standing and in really good shape too as well. So another interesting little fact here about Point Pleasant Park is it actually isn't owned by Canada technically. It's actually owned by the British government, and it's a 999-year lease starting I think a couple hundred years back, don't quote me on that, but every year apparently we pay 1 shilling, which is kind of I think an outdated currency even, but we pay 1 shilling to keep it going. remember coming to this park with my parents and just really enjoying myself. Just walking along through the paths and the little roadways here and just exploring. It was always fun, and yeah, it brings back memories every time I come here. And it's just like I said, just a really great place to relax. This time of year, it's a little icy in patches, and especially the little pathways there off the main roadway. So that's why I'm kind of sticking to the main roads here. Got a little squirrel here around the tree. He's kind of playing hide and seek with me here. Oh, there he goes. It's also where Shakespeare by the Sea. So they're a company that puts on plays here, and the name kind of says it all. But Shakespeare by the Sea, really popular here in the summer. Something to check out for sure if you're in Halifax here in the summer. And it's, yeah, just a great little setting here for that sort of a type of theater, for sure. Really unique. So I mentioned the park was pretty big, and here's a great example of that. So I'm now in a different area of the park, a little bit more wide open. There's a lot of picnic table areas, that sort of thing here. But there's also like a really cool view of the ocean. Here's some remnants of fortifications. Don't know what year they're from. Looks like several sort of renovations have been done though. Looks like there used to be windows on areas here that were then bricked up. So, you know, probably several different uses over the years before they were finally kind of just left the way they are. Ever wondered how big a anchor would be, let's say, for a mid-19th century aircraft carrier? Well, if you have, there's no need to wonder anymore. Here in Point Pleasant Park, we actually have an actual anchor from the HMCS Bonaventure, which is, like I say, an aircraft carrier somewhere in the mid-19th century. And it was in service then. And yeah, I mean, this is the actual anchor from that aircraft carrier, which is really cool. So the Bonaventure actually had two anchors, and this is just one of them. So, you know, obviously this anchor is quite huge. Obviously the ship was quite huge. You'll see a lot of wreaths. These I think were laid down from Remembrance Day, by the looks of it. Here's a little beach area. A little chilly to be swimming today, but people have swam here, and I think still do from time to time. They've cleaned up the harbor quite a bit here in Halifax, so that makes a big difference. And I'm pretty sure that I've seen some polar bear dips too, where folks have just run out into that water on New Year's Day, which, you know, is I think an acquired taste. It's a warm day today, but tropical it's not. And there's plenty of maps too as well in the park. So like these are all kind of posted throughout. Some aren't as big and as elaborate as this one, but it is a pretty big park. So, you know, just to know where you're going, it's nice to have this to show you where you're at and where you can go. So this is an actual fitness machine. You can see there's all kinds of exercises here as well that you can perform while you're in the park here. I'm not going to do any today, but I'm sure that it's all good and checked out. Pretty interesting. I don't know of too many parks that you can do that in. If you're going to be visiting in the winter, really any time of year, you know, a good pair of hiking boots or you know, supportive sneakers even with some more grips, something like that. Obviously in the summer you're not gonna trip and fall on the ice, but just good to be prepared. There is, like I said, many kilometers of trails here, so you can spend a really good part of the day in the park. So it's nice to have also the proper equipment, obviously. Cool little makeshift seat, I guess. Also filled with sunflower seeds. Somebody was maybe feeding the squirrels. Maybe it's a squirrel feeder. Looks like a seat to me. I don't know, you be the judge. So that's been my walk in Point Pleasant Park here in Halifax. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, great park to unwind and relax. I've said that a few times, but it's just so true. And yeah, it's been a nice day for the end of January, which is really cool too. It's a treat. So yeah, please subscribe to the video if you like it. Subscribe to our channel and like our video. And hope to see you again. Maybe we'll do some more parks.